Welcome back to Hannity. Now, for years on this very program, we've been sounding the alarm about the horrors of Sharia law, and tonight I want to clarify in very simple terms exactly what Sharia is and what some of the punishments are for their so-called crimes. Now, under Sharia law, adultery, homosexuality, that's punishable by death, as are false accusations of rape. In many countries, you need, if you're a woman, 4 male eyewitnesses to prove it. Honor killings are allowed, meaning that murder is permissible if someone is deemed to dishonor their family, their husband, etc. If someone steals something, guess what? Their hands cut off. Punishments for other crimes include beheadings, flogging, women beaten, stoned to death. And here now, with insight on Sharia law from Arabs for Israel, Nonie Darwish is with us, and a women's rights activist who was featured in the Honor Diaries. Zainab Khan is both here. Guys, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. Nonie, you grew up in Cairo. You grew up under Sharia. Is that an accurate description?
Absolutely. And the problem with Sharia, it's not necessarily enforced by government. It can be enforced by anybody on the street. By men? By men. There are murders allowed under Sharia. Murdering an apostate is one of them. Anybody on the street.
You mean apostate, meaning somebody who believed in Islam and then converts to Christianity?
Or an adulterous woman. Yeah. Her father, her brother, her husband can kill her.
How many wives can some of these men have?
Up to 4 wives. The marriage contract under Sharia is different from the Judeo-Christian marriage. The man does not vow loyalty to his wife. Only the woman vows loyalty to her husband. Yeah. And if she's caught, or not even caught, if there's a suspicion, and she can be killed, and nobody goes to jail.
And it happens.
Yeah.
And it happens regularly.
Yeah, honor killing. That's
you ever see the stoning of
Soraya?
Soraya, yes.
It could be a suspicion, and everybody will sympathize with the husband and act like he's the victim. Mm-hmm. Men in the Muslim world, Sean, are burdened.
So women are treated like garbage. Women are treated, in many ways, are they slaves?
Well, the marriage contract is almost like a slave-master relationship. And unfortunately...
They're sexual slaves?
They are, yeah, sexual slavery is allowed under Islamic law. Yeah. It's detailed in Sharia. There are pages and pages on slavery and sexual slavery, which was never abolished by Islam.
And women are not seen equally as their male counterparts under Sharia law. And you see this in Iran, you see this in Afghanistan, and you also now see it coming back on the table in Iraq with the Joffrey personal status law. And what this is it's a 1,000-plus-year-old tradition of Sharia law where it permissibly allows a 9-year-old girl to be married. And it gives male father and grandfather guardianship over females. Now, Iraq had a legal
and 9-year-old girls are sent off to be married. Little children are...
Yes, child marriage is a huge problem.
Mm-hmm. And what is the issue with the Prophet Muhammad on this?
There's debate, and there's and I'm sure there's debate and there's different interpretations, but bottom line is that it should never be allowed.
Let me ask you this, because there's all of a sudden the Sultan of Brunei has an investment in this Beverly Hills hotel, and I give credit to Leno and Ellen DeGeneres and those that have spoken out, Sharon Osbourne among them. This has been going on for as long as I have been in media, and we have discussed it, and I have taken a lot of heat for stepping up. In this country, the Democrats always claim that Republicans or conservatives are engaged in a war on women because they don't want to pay for their birth control pills. And maybe they are pro-life and they believe that life begins at conception. This is what you're describing is a real war on women, but yet women in this country have been on the left have been virtually silent. What is your reaction to that?
It's an insult to my intelligence. When I'm here in America, I escaped life in the Middle East to come to America.
And your father died fighting the Israelis.
In the jihad, yes, in the jihad. Men's #1 duty is not their families. #1 duty is to do jihad, to sacrifice their lives on
holy war.
Holy war. And I come to America, and I enjoyed this country. It took me years I never wore the hijab, but I had the hijab on my mind. It took me years in America to get
rid of
rid of this oppression that I came in, the baggage I came with. And when 9/11 happened, a lot of Americans, Sean, asked, where are the Arab Americans to speak against jihad, about the oppression of women?
And you
here
stepped
I
forward.
am. I stepped forward, and instead of being appreciated, even the feminists called me, in America, called me Islamophobe. How can it be a phobia? A phobia is unreasonable fear. I'm afraid of Sharia because under Sharia, I must be killed now. Anybody on
You are
the
now
street,
you are officially apostate.
Absolutely.
And that means you would die by death. And they would
actually,
feel justified in the minds of Allah.
there is a law in Sharia that says a Muslim will not be prosecuted if he kills an apostate. Anybody on the street can kill me.
And I wouldn't have the same opportunities and resources or be sitting here had I been living under Sharia
And your
law.
parents, by the way,
My father is Afghan, my mother is Pakistani, and both countries are ruled by Sharia law. And my parents left to give us a better opportunity, chances to live our life freely with autonomy, to educate ourselves, and we're very grateful for that. And we would not have gotten that had we been living there.
well, thank you for telling your stories. Thank you for educating people.
Thank you, Sean, for giving
you.
us a chance to speak out.
You're very welcome.
Because we love this country and we love the freedom it gave us. And we would like America to understand what we went through in order for America to prevent Sharia from penetrating this
Look what's
country.
happening in Europe right now.
In England.
And even in this country. In some
we
parts.
escaped it, and we don't want it to come here.
Well, there's a fear to identify radical Islam. Because then, quote, oh,
Yeah.
you're offending people.
You have
But
to call it out for what it is. And there
agree
has
with
to
you.
be a middle ground in that you can speak out and you can actually say, hey, you know what, this is wrong. Because it's not just a women's issue or an issue that's going on there.
It's a human rights issue.
human rights issue.
I agree with you.
And we have to be able to speak out without being condemned
I
for it.
challenge everybody on the left, speak out. You know, stop being a bunch of cowards.